The Dallas Cowboys allowed 511 points last season. That is a franchise record, and it was the worst total in the NFL. Dallas was the only team in the league that gave up more than 30 points per game. Every rep and every roster decision happening in Oxnard right now traces back to that one number. This is not a contender fine-tuning the edges. This is an entire side of the football being rebuilt with the pads already on. A rookie linebacker taken at pick 92 has been running with the first-team defense, and almost nobody is saying out loud why. The offense was never the problem. Dak Prescott completed 67.3% of his throws for 4,552 yards with 30 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. Dallas finished second in the NFL in total offense at 391.9 yards per game, and all 11 offensive starters are back this season. George Pickens caught 93 passes for 1,429 yards and 9 touchdowns in his first year in Dallas, made the Pro Bowl, and earned second-team All-Pro honors. The record still came out to 7 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie. The biggest move the Cowboys made this offseason was not a player at all. The unit that opens Week 1 at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants will barely resemble last year's group. There's a new front, a new coordinator, a first-round safety, and a rebuilt secondary. Underneath all of it sit 2 contract situations that decide whether this window is actually open or just painted to look that way. One of them cannot legally be resolved until January of 2027. The other could be finished before the preseason opener. Neither one has anything to do with who wins the backup quarterback job. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Cowboys and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Let me be fair to last year's defense before burying it. Dallas traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers days before the regular season started, then lost 49.1 adjusted games to injury on that side of the ball, a figure only 10 teams exceeded. That is real context, and it deserves saying. It is also nowhere close to a full explanation. The Cowboys finished 30th in total defense, allowing 377 yards per game. They finished 32nd against the pass, allowing 251.5 yards per game. They finished 23rd against the run, allowing 125.5 yards per game. Count the problems honestly. Dallas surrendered 60 touchdowns, the most in the NFL. It surrendered 24 rushing touchdowns, also the most in the NFL. It finished 32nd in defensive DVOA and 31st against the pass by that same measure. Now, run the arithmetic. The Cowboys scored enough to rank second in the league in total offense and still finished with 7 wins. Move that defense from worst in football to merely average in points allowed. And by last year's scoring margins, this is a double-digit win team having a first-round bye conversation. That is the entire gap. Matt Eberflus was fired after 1 season running the unit. That decision came quickly, and it was correct. It also created the 4th defensive coordinator change in 4 years, which is its own kind of problem. Because scheme continuity is how young defenders actually develop. Brian Schottenheimer entered his 2nd year as head coach, knowing he could not survive a repeat. So Dallas did not hire another former head coach to steady the ship. It hired the youngest coordinator in franchise history, and it took him directly from the team that has owned this division. Christian Parker is 34 years old. He has never called a defense at any level, in the NFL or in college. He is now the youngest defensive coordinator in Dallas Cowboys history, and he was hired on January 22nd, 2026, straight out of Philadelphia, where he spent 2 seasons as the Eagles pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach under Vic Fangio. He owns a Super Bowl 59 ring from that run. Before Philadelphia, he coached defensive backs in Denver for 3 seasons, and before that, he was a quality control coach in Green Bay. The track record is thin in one specific way and overwhelming in another. Parker has never held the headset. What he has done is turn defensive backs into all-pros with unusual consistency. Patrick Surtain II became a first-team All-Pro under him in Denver. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean both earned first-team All-Pro honors as young players in Philadelphia. The Eagles allowed the fewest passing touchdowns in the NFL in 2025, giving up just 14 through the air. Dallas gave up 35 passing touchdowns that same season. That is the exact category Parker has spent his career fixing. He is not running the same defense either. Dallas is converting to a 3-4 front, which is why the roster suddenly features a much larger defensive line, and why Kenny Clark is being moved into a pure nose tackle role. Parker has praised his rookie linebacker for bringing a physicality and a demeanor to the inside of the defense. Every confusing personnel decision this summer becomes obvious once you accept the premise. The Cowboys are not evaluating last year's players. They are sorting a roster into a scheme it was never built to play. Start with the obvious departure. Micah Parsons went to Green Bay before the 2025 season in a package that included 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. That trade still defines this franchise, and it is the reason Dallas has spent 2 straight off-seasons buying pass rush instead of developing it. Grade it however you want. The practical effect is that the Cowboys replaced one elite edge rusher with a committee, and the committee has to be right for this defense to hold up in December. The interior emptied out too. Osa Odighizuwa was traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a 3rd-round pick on the first day of the new league year. Solomon Thomas was dealt for draft capital in the same window. Mazi Smith, a former first-round pick, went to the New York Jets. Logan Wilson was waived at linebacker. That is a near total teardown of the defensive interior and the second level inside of 12 months. And it happened with almost no national attention. Those departures grade out better than they look on a transaction sheet, because most of these players were poor fits for a 3-4 front rather than poor players. Odighizuwa is a penetrating interior rusher. That is not what Parker needs lined up next to a nose tackle. The mistake would be reading any of this as a rebuild. Dallas turned Odighizuwa into the pick that became a starting caliber linebacker and turned Parsons into the ammunition for everything that followed. What came back is where this gets genuinely interesting. The headline edition cost almost nothing. Dallas acquired Rashawn Gary from Green Bay on March 9 for a 2027 4th-round pick. Gary posted 7.5 sacks last season and has 46. 5 sacks in his career since Green Bay drafted him in the 1st round in 2019. He generated 60 pressures on 446 pass rushing snaps in 2025. His pass rush grade at PFF has now declined 4 straight years, and that is the honest caveat here. He is also only 28 years old, which is the age where a scheme change tends to matter most. The secondary got rebuilt with intent. Jalen Thompson signed for 3 years and $33 million after 5 straight seasons as a full-time starter in Arizona, where he made 87 career starts and collected 9 interceptions. Kobe Durant arrived to give the corner room a ball hawk it badly lacked. The Chalak signed after playing 3 seasons under Parker in Denver, which tells you the coordinator was allowed to shop for his own system. Otito Ogbanya added interior size on a 1-year deal worth up to $3 million. The biggest piece arrived before any of that. Dallas sent a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and Mazi Smith to the Jets last November for Quinnen Williams. That is a steep price for a player under contract only through 2027, and it is the single reason the extension conversation is now unavoidable. Williams is 28 and All-Pro, and he was named to the Leadership Council in his first full offseason in Dallas. Then the Cowboys went out and spent 2 first-round picks on the same side of the ball. Dallas made 7 selections in April and used the first 3 on defense. The Cowboys traded up from pick 12 with the Miami Dolphins to take Ohio State safety Caleb Downs at pick 11, and some evaluators had Downs graded as the best player in the entire class. Poof gave him the highest grade of any pick in the draft at 87.5, and he posted marks above 85.0 in 3 straight college seasons. Dallas then traded back from pick 20 with Philadelphia, collected 2 extra 4th-round selections, and still landed UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence at pick 23. The 3rd-round pick is the one that has taken over camp. Jyshawn Barham came off the board at pick 92, using the selection Dallas acquired from San Francisco in the Odigizua trade. He put up 32 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks at Michigan in 2025. Schottenheimer compared him directly to Zach Baun, the off-ball linebacker, who became a star in Philadelphia after moving inside. And Parker coached Baun through exactly that transition. Dallas then took Drew Shelton, Devin Moore, and LT Overton in the 4th round, and Anthony Smith in the 7th. Here's the case against this class. Downs is 5'11" and 206 pounds. He does not play a premium position, and Dallas paid a trade-up cost to get him. Lawrence projects as a rotational rusher on day 1 rather than a 10-sack player. Barham is raw as a pass rusher and spent most of his college career off the ball. Here's the case for it. Barham has been the story of Oxnard, running with the first team next to D. Winters, who Dallas acquired from San Francisco for a 5th-round pick. 3rd-round picks do not behave like starters by accident. Now look at the players everyone is calling disappointments, and notice what they have in common. Mars Lufa was a 3rd-round pick in 2024 and is being moved from inside linebacker to the edge, a switch Schottenheimer announced at the Combine by saying that kind of fits his strengths. LT Overton is a rookie 4th-round defensive lineman learning a brand new alignment. Jay Toya is competing to be a backup nose tackle. None of these players are underperforming. Every one of them is being asked to play a position they did not play last season. The offensive bubble is a different story with the same shape. Luke Schoonmaker was a 2nd-round pick in 2023, has appeared in 51 games with 13 starts, and is now in the final year of a 4-year rookie contract worth $2 million, while an undrafted rookie named Michael Trigg pushes him from behind. Jonathan Mingo is fighting for a 5th receiver job behind 4 established locks. Joe Milton and Sam Howell are splitting a backup quarterback competition that runs through all 3 preseason games. The injury list is short and mostly manageable, which is rare around here. Barham left Thursday's practice with a groin injury and sat out Saturday, and ESPN's Todd Archer reported it is not expected to keep him out long. Jalen Thompson is working back from a hip issue. Jonathan Bullard and Devin Moore are both dealing with groin injuries. Zion Childress is a couple of weeks away with a hamstring. The one real loss is tight end Princeton Fant, who tore ligaments in his ankle and mekkel and landed on injured reserve for the season. The contract hierarchy is simple. Quinnen Williams is the most important negotiation in the building, and the market moved underneath Dallas while it waited. Tennessee gave Jeffrey Simmons 3 years and $105.8 million. Philadelphia gave Jalen Carter 4 years and $152 million. Stephen Jones said at the opening press conference that Dallas has already spoken with the agent, adding, "We want Quinnen here for the long haul." Spotrac now projects Williams at 3 years and $94 million. Every month Dallas waits, that number climbs. George Pickens is the other one, and his situation is already locked in place. He signed the franchise tag for $27.3 million fully guaranteed, and the July 15 deadline passed with no long-term deal, which means the Cowboys cannot legally negotiate with him again until after the final regular season game against Washington in January of 2027. Meanwhile, Jerry Jones has said publicly he would give up the future for a splash player. The Max Crosby rumors have not gone away, and the trade deadline lands on November 2. Dallas is not finished shopping. Here is the honest projection. The win total sits at 9.5 games, and Dallas is the second choice to win the NFC East behind Philadelphia. The offense is a top 5 unit with every starter returning. The defense does not need to be good. It needs to be average, and by last year's margins average, is worth roughly 4 extra wins. So here's the claim. Dallas wins the NFC East at 11 wins and 6 losses, and Caleb Downs finishes top 3 in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. Tell me where that is wrong in the comments, and subscribe before the next breakdown, because these roster cuts are going to get ugly.